Divine message revealed. Your miraculous story has a heavenly purpose beyond 40 days of transformation in the heart of Hopefield. Where the sun kissed the rolling hills each morning, Mary's life was interwoven with the fabric of faith. The tragic loss of her husband left her grasping for strength, but in the warm embrace of her community, she found solace at St. Michael's Church. The flickering candlelight cast divine shadows as prayers danced on the warm air, igniting her spirit. Each flicker was a whisper from heaven, assuring her that she was not alone. Yet, as her son Daniel, bedridden and frail, fought his own battles against overwhelming physical suffering, the very essence of hope began to wane. One fateful Sunday, when the air felt thick with anticipation, Father James stepped into the pulpit, his voice resonating with an authority that pierced through despair. "In 40 days, your story will be transformed," he declared, and Mary felt as though the heavens poured a cauldron of hope into her heart. Her fingers tightened around her rosary, an anchor amid swirling emotions of joy and doubt. Could they truly experience a miracle? Days passed, each one a mixture of prayer and uncertainty. Mary gathered her fellow parishioners, embarking on a ritual of fervent prayer and reflective silence, seeking divine intervention. It was during one of these gatherings that a woman named Anna spoke of a stranger who arrived in town, the elderly Mr. Thompson, rumored to possess healing hands. Skepticism rippled through the group, yet those who experienced his touch spoke of inexplicable warmth and renewal. Miracles began to sprout like wildflowers, an injured animal healed, a child's laughter returning to a poignant silence, and households burdened by worry found unexpected provision. Each occurrence sparked renewed hope, weaving through the village like a divine tapestry, the path to transformation becoming clearer. Before we continue, I need to tell you about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, click the bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can leave a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, tell me in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. Yet, as the final days approached and hope blossomed, doubt shadowed Mary's heart. Whispers among the congregation began to rise, the very air thick with uncertainty. One night, amidst a prayer service, an electric tension gripped the audience. It was as though the walls of St. Michael's trembled with expectation. With tears streaming down her face, Mary felt a thrilling chill sweep over her. Just as despair nearly tightened its grip, Daniel, who leaned against the wall, lifted his weary heart toward the heavens. A radiant light unfurled above, and with a breathless gasp, he stood, unshackling himself from pain. Gasps echoed in the silence, as the congregation erupted in praise. In that sacred moment, Mary's heart swelled. She recognized this was just a miracle for her boy, but a fulcrum that would shift the very foundation of their community's faith. The journey through trials had kindled something far greater. It was not only about healing but awakening, binding them all as one. Yet, as joy filled the air, a distinct thought crept in. What other challenges did God have in store? What further lessons of faith and resilience would lie ahead? The echoes of joyful praise lingered in the air like sweet incense, wrapping around Mary as she basked in the warmth of the miraculous moment. Daniel stood there, a beacon of hope, his once frail form now radiating warmth and life. Gasps of wonder intertwined with shouts of jubilation, hearts swelling with gratitude. Yet, amidst the waves of joy, Mary felt a stirring in her spirit, an insistent whisper nudging her to reflect deeper. As days slipped by in a blur of excitement and celebration, life began to reshape itself around the miraculous event. The villagers flocked to St. Michael's, eager to witness Daniel's recovery. Each person brought their own burdens, their own prayers, and together they created a tapestry of community, united in faith. Mary, overwhelmed yet exhilarated, felt the sheer weight of responsibility settle upon her shoulders. Her son had been restored, but what of the other souls still yearning for a miracle? One evening, as twilight painted the sky with hues of pink and gold, Mary ventured into the church alone. The candlelight danced as soothing shadows embraced the worn pews. She knelt by the altar, a tender beacon of surrender. "Lord," she whispered, "you have shown us wonders. But what more do you wish for us to see? What are we to learn from this gift?" The silence enveloped her, thick with anticipation. In that stillness, she felt a gentle warmth. It was as if the Lord himself wrapped his arms around her. The days marched forward, and life in Hopefield took on a newfound energy. The villagers shared stories of transformed lives and newfound faith, their spirits buoyed by palpable hope. Yet, not every tale was of joy. Mary listened to others speak of their losses, their struggles with illness, broken relationships, and lost dreams. With every passing moment, she felt a call to action deep within her heart. The divine miracle wasn't solely for her family. It was the beginning of something bigger, a chance to be a vessel of healing for others. Encouraged by the stirring in her soul, Mary organized gatherings, the blessings of renewal sessions held at St. Michael's. These evenings became sacred spaces where stories were shared, prayers were lifted, and the community grew stronger. Those who attended spoke not only of their pain, but also of a growing anticipation, believing that just as Daniel was healed, they too could witness a miracle. One night, a newcomer walked through the doors. Clothed in shadow, it was Emily, a woman rumored to carry the weight of despair after losing a child. Upon entering, her eyes, red-rimmed and heavy with sorrow, met Mary's. The hopeful chatter of the gathering quieted. All eyes turned to the newcomer, hearts full of empathy. Mary's own heart raced, a mixture of fear and compassion. What could she offer that would ease Emily's sorrow? Gathering courage, Mary approached her, gently placing a comforting hand on her shoulder. "You are not alone, dear sister," she said softly. The warmth of the congregation surrounded them, a tangible embrace filled with love and understanding. Mary realized then that sometimes, simply sharing a burden could be as transformative as a miracle itself. But as the days turned into weeks, a new realization began to dawn. Faith was not merely about receiving miracles, but about acknowledging the journey through the pain. True healing came from vulnerability and unity, from lifting one another beyond despair into light. And yet, amid this awakening, a shadow loomed. How would they face the next storm that life would surely bring? Was their newfound faith strong enough to withstand the trials that lay ahead? As Mary pondered these questions, a soft breeze swept through the church, extinguishing a few candles flickering with life. She sensed a divine shift in the atmosphere, and a pronounced urgency stirred. Perhaps the heavens were whispering once more what awaited them in the days ahead, and would their faith be enough to hold them firm? The very next day, the village awoke to a dawn draped in heavy clouds, casting an uncertain shadow over the day. Mary felt the weight of the sky pressing down. The air buzzed with apprehension, and whispers wound through the streets alongside the chill. It seemed that not just the weather had taken a somber turn. The hearts of the villagers grew heavy with unspoken fears, as if the heavens themselves were urging them to brace for something unseen. At St. Michael's, the gathering for blessings of renewal took on an urgent tone. Faces that had shone bright with hope now reflected a myriad of emotions: confusion, worry, and beneath it all, a flicker of faith that refused to be snuffed out. Mary stood before the assembly, feeling their expectancy, wanting desperately to ignite a flame of courage within them. "Brothers and sisters," she began, her voice steady yet tender, "we have seen miracles unfold, yet we also know the valleys of despair. It is in these valleys where our faith finds its roots, where true compassion dwells." Her heart raced, knowing she had to convey something deeper. Today, let us invite God into our fears. Let us offer our hearts in prayer. He hears each cry, every whisper of our souls. As they joined hands and bowed their heads, A hush filled the air, a sacred silence enveloping them like a protective cocoon. In this stillness, Mary's spirit soared. She felt the divine presence, as if God himself joined them, a warm glow settling amongst them. "Lord, we come before you," she prayed earnestly, "not just for miracles, but for courage. Grant us the strength to face what lies ahead, together. Teach us to love through hardship, to be vessels of your grace." Each word hung in the air, resonating with every heart present. The congregation responded with murmurs of agreement, voices rising together like a sweet melody, filling the church with reverent energy. Moments passed, and as they prayed, Mary felt an extraordinary shift. A warmth radiated from the center of their circle, lifting their spirits higher. Just then, Emily stood up, her eyes shedding the weight she had carried like a shroud. "I believe we need to share our fears, not hide them. In our brokenness, we find our way to each other." Her voice trembled, yet it rang with truth that captivated the assembly. "I lost my child, and I thought my heart was beyond repair. But now, I see there's community here, a divine purpose longing to be revealed." The congregation stirred. One by one, voices echoed what was hidden in their hearts. A man stepped forward, sharing his struggle with illness. A woman spoke of her tumultuous marriage. With every shared story, the burden seemed lighter, and the hope deeper. Mary looked around. Tears of unity began to flow. She saw the strength in vulnerability. Healing wasn't merely about miracles, it was about bearing one another's pains and joys. They were becoming a family bound by faith and shared experiences. As the evening wore on, the clouds outside began to part. A shaft of golden light broke through, illuminating St. Michael's in an ethereal glow. It was as if heaven was affirming their devotion. A palpable energy filled the room, igniting a newfound excitement mingled with uncertainty. But even as hope blossomed, a whisper of worry lingered in Mary's heart. What would the coming days hold? Would their strength and faith be enough to weather the storms brewing on the horizon? Trust in the journey, she reminded herself, feeling a shiver of anticipation. She sensed the movement of something great about to unfold. As they closed the gathering with a song of praise, Mary caught a glimpse out of the church window. A figure appeared, shrouded in a strange aura, standing at the edge of the village. Her heart quickened. Who could it be, and what message did they bring? And just then, a sudden fear gripped her. Was the stranger a harbinger of hope or a shadow of despair? The answer loomed over her soul like the clouds that had gathered in the sky, hinting at both danger and revelation in the days to come. As Mary approached the window to get a clearer view of the figure, her heart raced. The light from the setting sun created an almost celestial aura around the silhouette. The figure stood still, yet there was a subtle vibration in the air, as if the very essence of the village held its breath, waiting in anxious anticipation. "Who are you?" Mary whispered to herself, the question hanging heavy in the warm church air. Outside, the color of the clouds shifted, adding to the sense of urgency. She turned back to the congregation, her soul resonating with their quiet murmurs. The strength they had drawn from each other only moments ago ignited a boldness within her. "Let us seek understanding together," she called out, her voice steady, though trembling with emotion. "There may be a message for us, friends. A whisper from heaven itself. Let us not run from what stirs our hearts." As if responding to her words, the congregants shifted, their attention drawn to the enigmatic figure outside. A palpable energy filled the church. Some reached for their hearts, while others huddled closer, forming a tighter circle of faith. "Together we stand," came a voice from the back, strong and confident. It was Thomas, a farmer known for his dedication. "We face whatever comes, united in our belief." His declaration caused a ripple of determination to spread through the assembly, hearts racing with renewed hope. Mary nodded in agreement, comforted by the echoes of faith that filled the room. She took a deep breath, and as she did, she felt a strange, yet comforting warmth wrap around her. "Let us invite this presence in prayer," she said, sensing a shift in the atmosphere. They knelt in unison, hands clasped tightly. Mary led them in prayer, her heart wide open to whatever divine message awaited. "Lord, reveal to us what you wish. Let our hearts be open, our spirits receptive. We trust in you to guide us through uncertainty." As they prayed, the clouds outside seemed to part even further, allowing sunlight to pour through, casting flickering patterns upon the wooden floors of St. Michael's. It was a divine sign, a promise. Mary felt a shudder of resolve within as the brightness ignited a spark of faith in her soul. Just then, the figure outside stirred. Slowly, it began to approach the church. A cloak flowed gracefully around it, subtly catching the light as if adorned with stars. Gasps erupted in the congregation, the beauty of the moment cloaking them in awe. "Fear not!" The voice came, clear and melodic, floating through the church like a gentle summer breeze. "I come from the one who loves you. I bear a message, a guide for your journey ahead. Trust in what you cannot yet see, for in embracing the unknown lies your true strength." Mary felt her breath catch, the voice resonating deep within her spirit. What did it mean? The anticipation rose, urging her to ask for more, to seek answers for the unknown. "What will you tell us?" she called out, her spirit yearning to grasp the message presented. The figure paused, eyes sparkling with a wisdom that felt both ancient and fresh. "There will be trials ahead, but through them, miracles will bloom. You are a community transformed, ready to fulfill a purpose greater than yourselves." A moment of silence followed, and as dread and excitement intertwined, the stranger added, "Your journey begins now. Look for the signs that reveal the sacred purpose hidden within the challenges." Mary felt encouragement and an unshakable peace wash over her, a sense that this was more than just a moment, it was an invitation to a grand adventure of faith. Relief brightened her heart, while questions clamored in her mind. What trials lay ahead? How would they transform them into a community of miracles? As the figure turned, golden light continued to spill through the doors, beckoning them like a distant shore. The villagers watched, transfixed, but Mary felt something deeper within her, an urge to lead them through this new chapter. What awaited them beyond the threshold of faith? What divine transformation was on the horizon? With a heart full of wonder, the words echoed in her mind. Trust in this journey of revelation, and the next steps loomed before her like a rich tapestry waiting to be woven. Mary remained on her knees, her heart swelling with a mix of faith and trepidation. The voice still resonated in her ears, like a distant melody promising adventure and trials yet to unfold. She looked around at her fellow villagers, their faces illuminated by the gentle glow of fading sunlight streaming through the church windows. They were a mixture of awe, hope, and uncertainty, each wrestling with their own thoughts about what lay ahead. "Let us remember," she said, breaking the silence that hung thick in the air, "we are not alone. What the figure spoke of is a shared journey. Together, we embody the love and strength of our community. Let us lean on one another as we embrace whatever is to come." A soft murmur of agreement rippled through the congregation. Thomas raised his hands, the resolve still evident in his voice. "Then let us prepare our hearts. We must trust in the love that guides us, the divine spirit that ignites our faith." Mary smiled at him, feeling a wave of gratitude for the support of those around her. She could see the flicker of trust in their eyes, just as much as the questions and fears each held within. They were all, in their own way, ready to step into the unknown. As if responding to their collective commitment, the figure outside of the church paused and turned slightly, its face hidden beneath the hood, but the energy surrounding it glowed brighter. A hush descended, drawing everyone's gaze back toward the doorway. Mary felt a profound stillness, the kind that ignited a burning curiosity within her. "Do you hear it?" someone whispered, breaking the silence again. "There is something in the air." Mary nodded slowly, her ears tuning into the unspoken unity that filled the space. Even the creaking wooden beams of the old church seemed to hum with anticipation. It was an inexplicable moment, a breath of the divine that seemed to invite them closer not just to the figure, but to one another. "Let us ask God for clarity, for understanding," Mary spoke softly, conviction strengthening her voice. "We need guidance for what is to come." The villagers bowed their heads once more, and this time Mary prayed with deep sincerity. "Lord, grant us wisdom to see your signs and courage to act upon them. Let us see through your eyes, feel through your heart, and trust as you lead us." As she prayed, she felt an overwhelming peace envelop her. It radiated through the room, touching each heart. The light from outside flickered and danced, a heavenly presence affirming their collective spirit. "Look!" A child's voice piped up, breaking the solemnity. "The clouds! Their changing colors." Mary opened her eyes, followed the sound, and gasped. It was true, a magnificent array of colors painted the sky outside, shades of purple, gold, and even hints of pink mingling. The tapestry above them now resembled a divine canvas. The figure outside stepped closer, allowing the vibrant light to illuminate its features for the first time. Eyes glowed with warmth, both inviting and commanding attention. "You see the beauty that comes from uncertainty," it proclaimed gently. "Like these colors in the sky, your trials too will give birth to wonders you cannot yet imagine." Mary's heart fluttered with excitement. Could they truly be part of a larger story? She felt the need to reassure her congregation. "We will walk together through this journey, finding hope in every challenge and praising the beauty that emerges, just as God reveals beauty in this sky." The moment was electric, the congregation drawn together in unified spirit. Their shared faith lit the room with warmth. They stood, hands clasped tightly, eyes uplifted. "Let us not forget," Mary breathed, her voice rising with passion. "This journey of revelation comes with purpose, our purpose. We are called to delve into the unknown as one body, one spirit, striving towards the light of His love." As the last words left her lips, a gust of wind swept through the open doors, sending a chill down her spine. For a fleeting moment, the church flickered in bright luminescence, revealing a new dimension of hope. What awaited them within this journey of trials and miracles? What signs would lead them forward? With every heartbeat, they stood poised on a precipice, ready to step into the unknown, embracing the promise of God hidden within the challenges they would face. The room was still, the weight of anticipation hanging in the air like the scented incense from the evening service. Mary felt a tremor of excitement and fear mixed within her. What could this all mean? Outside, the figure remained, its presence like a lighthouse in a storm, steady and radiant. Her heart raced as she stepped closer to the door, pulling the villagers with her. They felt as if their feet were glued to the ground, the beckoning call of the figure urging them forward. "Let us go," Mary declared, her voice strong. "We cannot ignore the signs before us." She offered her hand to Thomas, who took it without hesitation. One by one, the villagers joined hands, a sacred bond forming among them. Every gaze was filled with a shared determination. With one collective heartbeat, they stepped outside, their breaths hitching at the beauty that awaited them. The brilliant colors in the sky danced above, pulsating as if in rhythm with their faith. Shadows draped over the ground, creating a sacred space filled with divine potential. Mary looked to the figure, now closer than ever, and felt a surge of warmth radiate from within. It was as if they had crossed an invisible barrier. They were stepping into a realm of unseen possibilities. "Who are you?" someone shouted, barely able to contain their curiosity. The figure lifted its head, revealing a face that glowed with divine love. "I am a messenger of hope," it spoke, the voice echoing deep within each heart. "I come to prepare you for the journey ahead, one filled with transformation and purpose." Mary felt tears prick her eyes. Could this be the answer to the prayers whispered in the solitude of her heart? Every step you take will mold your spirits. Each challenge faced will ignite your faith, said the figure, its eyes locking onto hers. You are destined for greatness, but to embrace it fully, you must be willing to let go of fear and embrace love unconditionally. The villagers shifted uneasily, exchanging glances that danced between awe and apprehension. Fear had always held them back in the past. "What if we falter?" Mary asked, her voice trembling slightly. "What if doubt grips our hearts?" The figure's gaze softened, radiating reassurance. "Doubt may come, but let it be a teacher, not a captor. Each doubt faced head-on aids your growth, just like the colors in the sky are born from the clash of light and darkness. Surrender to the unknown, for it is within that space that miracles are birthed." Mary felt a weight lifted, her heart unburdening with an unexpected lightness. Hope flooded her soul, igniting a spark within her. Suddenly, it all made sense. The unknown wasn't merely a void, it was a canvas waiting to be painted with their faith. "Together, we will cast aside our fears," Mary proclaimed, her voice growing stronger. "We will embrace the transformations that lie ahead. We will weave our story into the fabric of the divine tapestry." A wave of agreement surged through the villagers, voices rising in unison. "Yes, we will trust. We will follow." The figure smiled, uplifting its arms. "Then prepare yourselves, for you are on a path leading to a revelation that will change not just your lives, but the lives of many others." As those words sank into the villagers' hearts, Mary felt a pull within, an urgent whisper urging her to embrace this sacred calling. She knew it wasn't just for her, but for all of them. Was it possible? Could they truly be part of something larger? As the figure faded into a radiant glow, leaving behind an echo of laughter, Mary stood in the twilight, surrounded by her friends, ready to dive deeper into the sacred unknown. How would they interpret the signs that were now unfolding? What challenges and miracles awaited them on this path painted by divine hands? The night felt pregnant with promise, a prelude to a story waiting to be told. The air hummed with expectancy as the villagers stood rooted, their hearts synchronized with the fading light of the figure's presence. Mary's mind raced, thoughts swirling like the evening breeze. What transformations awaited them? She felt the pulse of anticipation, each heartbeat echoing the desires of their souls. "Let us gather our courage," she urged, the weight of responsibility settling on her shoulders. "We will seek the guidance promised to us. We will awaken our dormant faith." With newfound resolve, they began to walk, their footsteps harmonious with each other under the blanket of twilight. The path ahead was dimly lit, bordered by shadows that whispered of past fears. Yet, Mary felt a flicker of confidence ignite within her. Every step felt purposeful, leading them toward a deeper understanding of their faith. As they moved, the stars began to twinkle above, each one a beacon of hope and promise. The villagers sighed in unison, the vastness of the sky reminding them of their smallness, yet also of their essential greatness in the Creator's plan. "Do you think we are truly meant to do something great?" Thomas ventured, breaking the stillness. Unease crept into his voice. Mary turned to him, her face illuminated by the faint starlight. "Greatness comes not solely from deeds, but from love and sharing our journeys, each with our unique story woven together." She glanced around, taking in the faces of her companions as they processed her words. At that moment, a soft breeze stirred, ruffling their hair and carrying whispers of encouragement. It was as if the universe itself was responding to their ancient longing for purpose. Suddenly, one of the villagers, an elder with wisdom carved in his features, spoke up. "What if we fail? What if we aren't enough?" His voice was laden with deep-seated fear, a reminder of their struggles. Mary stepped forward, the warmth of hope enveloping her. "What if we think of failure as a stepping stone? Remember, every hero has faced challenges. Each struggle is a part of the path meant to guide us closer to the light." A hush settled over the group. They pondered her words, the truth of them sinking deep within. Doubts began to surface, yet they held a strange allure, an invitation for deeper thought and reflection. In the distance, Mary spotted a flickering light, beckoning them forward. "Look!" she exclaimed, hope shining in her eyes. "That may very well be a guiding star illuminating our way. Let us go toward it." With intensified purpose, the villagers quickened their pace, hearts racing at the sight of the growing light. As they moved closer, it transformed into a bonfire, its flames dancing as if celebrating their arrival. Gathering around, they felt the flames cast away the lingering darkness, illuminating both their path and their hearts. As they stared into the fire, Mary sensed a shift in the atmosphere, a convergence of the tangible and the ethereal. "Tonight, we rest and share our hearts," she said, a gentle authority in her voice. "As we gather around this fire, let us listen to each story and glimpse the divine woven in our lives." One by one, voices began to emerge. Stories of struggle, of hope, moments when faith seemed fleeting, yet somehow prevailed. Together, they relived experiences that showed them the beauty of resilience. As the flames crackled and the night deepened, it felt as though the heavens were closely watching, listening, and inviting them to dig deeper within their spirits. But as dawn began to paint the horizon with colors of new beginnings, Mary felt another stirring within her. What divine truths lay hidden in the depths of their pasts? How would they unveil the lessons meant to unlock their destinies? With hearts wide open, the villagers gathered closer, ready to listen to each story, to each truth leading to a revelation that would forever transform their lives. What new insights would they gain as they peeled back the layers of their shared experiences? What wisdom awaited them as they ventured into the depths of their past? Around the fire's warm glow, the first voice came forth, soft yet resonant like a distant bell. It belonged to Ruth, a woman whose hands had known toil through countless seasons. "When I was younger, I lost my way," she began, her eyes shimmering with unshed tears. "In those dark days, I believed myself unworthy, that I could never be redeemed. But one evening, I found an abandoned child, crying by the river. In caring for her, I discovered a glimmer of hope, and in caring for her, I was healed. God worked through my hands, reminding me that I am never beyond grace." The group listened, hushed in reverence as her words danced with the firelight. With each story shared, the flames flickered higher, transforming their unease into a rising current of connection. Next, it was Isaac's turn. He took a deep breath, the air heavy with memories. "I was a wanderer, chasing fleeting pleasures that brought only emptiness. I thought freedom lay in distance, but I returned to find my father's grave. With that finality, I understood. True purpose isn't an escape, but an understanding and acceptance. I then awakened to God in my despair, and He revealed to me that my return was homecoming, grounded in love." A chorus of murmurs filled the air as the villagers began to comprehend their histories were interlaced, each life thread woven into the same rich tapestry. Mary could feel the energy shifting, rising to something sacred. She smiled as Eli, a reserved young man, spoke next. "I've been quiet all my life, terrified to express myself for fear of judgment. But the divine began whispering to me through the leaves in the trees, the laughter of children. I realized that my silence could become my strength. Even the smallest voice carries weight in the symphony of creation." As each story unfolded, Mary watched as the warmth of divine love enveloped her companions. Voices grew bolder with each testimony, carrying the essence of their journey. The fire illuminated their faces, reflecting newfound understanding, a glimmer of shared spirituality. Yet, amidst the sharing, shadows wove through Mary's thoughts. What would these revelations mean for them? Would they unite in purpose? Would they emerge from this night transformed? She felt the thrill of the unknown, for it was clear that tonight was only the beginning of something profound. A gentle breeze nudged them, urging them to lean into the truths that now nestled within their hearts. As dawn crept closer, tinging the sky with hues of hope, she sensed a whisper behind her thoughts, inviting her to guide them further. Friends, as we sit here, feel the presence of the divine surrounding us. Each of our stories is a gift, a message meant for more than just ourselves. What if our collective experiences are leading us to a grand purpose? What if these revelations yearn to ignite a movement of faith within our village? Gasps of awe met her words. Some exchanged glances, realizing the weight of what she suggested. The flickering flame seemed to dance in agreement, and the air buzzed with the energy of possibility. As they pondered her question, Mary's heart soared with conviction. This gathering was sacred, a divine invitation to embrace their calling. Giving voice to their fears was only the beginning. They were now entrusted with a mission greater than themselves, one that shimmered with the essence of hope and redemption. But even as the dawn painted their world brightly, an unshakable mystery lingered in the air. What exactly was this grand purpose waiting to be unveiled? What next steps lay before them, as the first light of day broke forth over their village? The heart of adventure awaited them just beyond the horizon. As the sky lightened, hues shifting from deep indigo to soft gold, a warmth enveloped the gathering. Mary sensed the atmosphere thickening with expectation. She could feel the pulse of divine presence in each heart around the fire, urging them to step closer to the truth. "Let us take a moment to reflect," she suggested, her voice steady yet gentle. A stillness descended, mingling with the song of the morning birds. Eyes closed, the villagers began to meditate on their stories, letting them intertwine and settle like fresh dew on grass. It was Samuel, the elder, who broke the silence. "We each climbed our mountains, faced our valleys." His voice quivered yet spoke with authority. "But if God has indeed woven our paths together, then perhaps those struggles serve a greater purpose. Each trial has led us closer to Him." His words rippled through the group like a warm wave. The realization struck. Their sufferings, their moments of joy, all had a divine thread connecting them. Mary nodded, feeling the weight and lightness of the truth settle within her. "Imagine, just imagine," she urged, the fervor growing in her chest, "if each of us were to rise from this fire, emboldened by our stories. Could we not carry the flame of hope into our village and beyond? We've all seen the shadows of despair. We've walked with burdens." Another voice joined in. It was Naomi, her eyes bright with fervor. "Yes, and a collective spirit can break the chains of loneliness. We could start a community garden, share meals, and spread kindness." As Naomi spoke, others began to voice ideas, the excitement weaving through them. An idea of togetherness blossomed, each suggestion carrying notes of their faith, promising a new dawn in their lives. It was exhilarating. "Hear the call in your hearts," Mary exclaimed, animated by the moment. "Let us be heralds of light. Our stories are but seeds, ready to grow into mighty trees of faith." The group fell into laughter and animated conversation. Old insecurities began to melt away. Eli, once shy, shared his thoughts. "What if we created a place for all voices? A sanctuary where every story is celebrated?" "Yes," came a chorus of agreement. Tears of joy streamed down Ruth's face as she spoke again. "I believe transformation begins here right now. Tonight, as Fireside Talk fuels hope for our future. God is moving in us." As the energy surged, Mary felt a calling within, an urge to guide this budding community, to foster faith among them. But before she could fully declare her intent, a shadow flickered at the edge of their circle, catching her eye. Startled, she turned, catching sight of a figure watching them from the trees. It was a girl, frail yet radiant, with an unsettling air about her, as if she were a messenger from another realm. "Who are you?" shouted Isaac, breaking through the moment of awe. But the girl simply smiled, lips closed yet eyes shining with knowledge, before she turned and disappeared into the thicket, leaving only an echo of whispers hanging in the air. A sudden chill ran through the group. The warmth of their connection wavered. What had that figure meant? "Friends," Mary breathed, her heart racing, "I sense this is no coincidence. This mystery beckons us further into our journey. Could it lead us closer to understanding our purpose?" Everyone exchanged looks tinged with both fear and excitement, as if realizing that the adventure that awaited them was not merely around the fire, but in the unseen world filled with divine encounters. The question lingered in the air, heavy yet inviting. Were they brave enough to follow the whispers that seemed to echo in the woods? What truths awaited them on the path of discovery that loomed just beyond their view? As dawn broke over Hopefield, a golden light filtered through the trees, a divine beacon illuminating the path before Mary and the villagers. Hearts still racing from the encounter, they felt an unshakable unity tethered by a common purpose. Every soul among them had waded through the waters of sorrow, yet now, they stood on the cusp of something profound, an invitation to embrace their collective story. Mary took a deep breath and looked at her friends. "We are destined to be more than just witnesses. We are called to be lighthouses, to shine through the darkest nights and lead those still lost along the shore." Ruth, with tears glistening like dew, stepped forward. "Together we can create a safe space where people can share not just their joys, but even their deepest pains." The echo of her words stirred something within them, igniting a flicker of hope. "But we must also heed the signs," Mary urged, her voice threaded with excitement. "The girl we saw, she is part of this mystery. We are being called to dive deeper into our journeys, to learn from our encounters and seek understanding." As if in affirmation, a gentle breeze swept through the assembly, swirling among them like a warm embrace, urging them onward. They could sense a divine presence urging them toward the woods, where the mysterious girl had vanished. "Let us follow the path into the thicket," Thomas shouted, brimming with determination. "For every step we take could unfold further revelations about our purpose." With courageous hearts, the group formed a line, each of them connected by the handling of one another as hands. The air was thick with sacred expectation as they ventured into the greenery, crossing the threshold from well-tread ground into the wild unknown. As they pushed through the branches, whispers floated through the forest, barely audible yet laden with meaning. Mary felt that sensation again, a tugging at her spirit, like an invitation from the heavens. She could hear snippets of truths echoing through her mind, mingling with the essence of her friends beside her. Suddenly, they stumbled into a clearing adorned with vibrant flowers dancing in the morning light. There, at its center, was a small fountain that sparkled as if baptized by starlight. The air crackled with a sense of reverence, and bubbling water sang a tune of renewal. "How beautiful!" Emily exclaimed, her eyes wide with wonder. "But what does it mean for us?" Mary stepped closer, mesmerized. She could almost hear the water whispering promises of purpose. With renewed courage, she declared, "This fountain is a symbol. Just as it nourishes life, our stories and experiences must flow together to nourish our community, to heal and grow. If the girl is somehow a part of this fountain's message, we must seek her out," Naomi suggested, and the group nodded, feeling the urgency of their calling. "Let us share what we know," Mary urged, glancing around at each individual, her heart brimming with excitement. "The past can guide us. Our experiences can lead to compassion and understanding. We must let our lives intertwine, becoming a tapestry of hope." With the water casting reflections of their faces, they began to share their fears, joys, and what they each longed to offer this newfound community. Stories poured forth like the bubbling fountain, a narrative of healing, the power of vulnerability, and the possibilities of love. As voices melded together, the glow of purpose illuminated the clearing, mingling with the light of the rising sun. Each of Mary's friends spoke of burdens lifting, of dreams blooming like the flowers around them, and of the faith that had ignited like wildfire. And just then, a familiar figure emerged from the thickets just beyond the clearing, the girl. She walked slowly, her presence ethereal and calm. She gestured for them to gather closer around the water. Do you understand? Her voice was soft and penetrating. Every trial, every doubt, is a thread woven into the fabric of your community. You are stronger together. Your stories must flow like this fountain, merging and nourishing those beyond these woods. Mary's heart soared. It was a divine validation of everything they had discussed. Will you guide us? Mary implored, her voice trembling with hope. The girl smiled gently, her eyes shimmering. I am but a reflection of the journey you must embrace. Your strength lies in embracing your stories, and sharing is the key. Together, you will illuminate the path for others. Mary felt the pulse of divine purpose beat strong within her. Let us honor this collaboration. We will take a pledge to each other. A commitment to journey beyond ourselves to uplift and empower. They stood together, hands joined around the fountain, and recited a promise to walk together in faith. Their voices echoed through the clearing, a sonorous declaration that would ripple through Hopefield and beyond. With the sun now fully risen, painting the horizon in vibrant colors, they stepped away from the fountain, renewed as a community united by love and purpose. The lingering mystery felt more like a sacred invitation than a question. Their journey was merely the beginning. As Mary looked at her friends, each radiant and eager to embrace the future, she knew deeper healing lay ahead. Trials would come, but so would miracles, for they were not just a village, they were vessels. Vessels ready to pour out joy, compassion, and unwavering faith into the world. She clasped Thomas's hand tightly. We will seek out those who need our light. Together, we become a force of hope. Who knows what tomorrow may hold? With hearts aflame, they walked back toward the village, the essence of purpose guiding their each step. Their journey was no longer their own, it was a shared odyssey filled with divine potential, ready to make waves of love ripple throughout their lives and far beyond. Hopefield would never be the same again. Now, brothers and sisters in faith, this is your moment. Do not wait even one more second. You need to subscribe now to catch the next exclusive faith stories that will inspire you to your core. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm and help this message spread to those in need. Drop a comment with your heart's reactions and testimonies about this incredible ending. Your voice matters. Share instantly this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this manifestation of hope. Let us be the light together.